Okay, so in the previous video, I showed you how to run Java programs from the command line. And actually, I showed you how to compile them with Java-C and then run them with Java. So I wanted to show you one more example of that, which might make it a little clearer how we can actually improve our work and use these simple techniques to save time and energy. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention is later on we'll learn a more efficient way to communicate with the operating system through the command line arguments. The reason we're not doing that yet is we haven't learned how to do arrays. And so it turns out that I'll be able to read information from the operating system directly when I run the programs there. Okay, so I've created a simple program called Image Link Maker. And what this is going to do is the user can give me the file name of an image, and then it will build the HTML5 image link markup code. And so I have an example of that code right here. And so you can see it's going to be a string, and it's an anchor element, and it has an href attribute, which is going to be the file name. So that's the model. And it does have to be quoted. In HTML5, it doesn't matter if you use single or double quotes. So it turns out that if I use the single quotes here for the HTML, I can use the double quotes like I normally do in Java to handle strings. So basically, I have created a scanner object. You've seen that. I have two string variables, one for the file name and one for the completed image link. And then I have a Boolean variable that just controls my loop. And so again, the loop will repeat until the user gives me the -1 value. And actually, I haven't written that logic in. So right now, this is an infinite program. I just started to fix that, so let's go ahead and add that real quickly. This is not new, you've seen this before. So we're reading in the, let's see, print line. Okay, so right here we're reading in, you're using next line to read that in. And so then if file name and then dot equals ignore case, and then this is going to be a string. Although I'm reading it as -1, it's not actually a number, it's going to be a string. Okay, so if this doesn't equal, then we'll go ahead and create the image link and print it out. All right. Otherwise, else, the user just told us with a -1 that they were done, so we set done equal to true, which will stop our loop from looping. All right. So again, just real quickly, while not done, done is false, not false is true. So while true means it'll run at the start. We print the prompt out. We read in the file name. We check to see if the file name is the magic code to end input -1. And if it's not, that's what that N not there is, the bang character, then we're going to do this. Let's go ahead and fix our indentation here real quick. I'm kind of anal about that. And so there we go. Okay, so again, we build the image link with the file name that was input, and then we output it. Okay. Otherwise, if the user did put the -1 in, that means that they're done, and so we just set the done equals true so that the loop stops. Okay? Okay, let's run this program real quickly from within NetBeans. At the console. And so enter the file name. So Tom, oops, got to click in the output window. There you go. So tom.jpg There's an image link for that file, betty.png. There's an image link for that file, -1 to quit, and we're good. Okay, so this is going to work. All right, so let's go now to our command line. So I've got my program working. Whoops, what did I do? Control Z. There we go. Somehow I screwed up the code here. Let me go ahead and make sure I have this saved. Okay, it is saved. All right, I'm going to actually close this in NetBeans. So I'm going to close all projects, and I'll just minimize NetBeans because I'm going to use it here in a minute. And that's where I'm recording my videos. Don't worry about that. I already have my Java command line open. I showed you how to do that on the previous pardon me, in the previous video. And because I changed the program, I need to go ahead here and delete this code and get the current version of the code. That's one of the reasons I closed NetBeans. So I'm going to go on over here to my working directory, and there's the image link maker. I'm not sure if I talked about this or not. I might have in the previous video, but real quickly, let's go over it again in case I didn't. So this image link maker was the name of a Java project that I created in NetBeans, and it creates a project folder with that name, image link maker. And then this is the structure of the folder. So every NetBeans project has this same structure. Your source code is here in source, and there's the file, image link maker Java. And that's all I really need to run this at the command line. So I'm going to copy that and pop over here and paste it in. And notice I'm in my Java CMD2, which I'm using for this to follow up the previous video. Okay, let me go to my command line window. I'm using Control Tab, by the way, if you don't know how to do this, or Alt Tab, sorry. And so I'm at the command line window. Let's just go ahead and dir. So notice that I have my Java source, and I have an images directory. So I'm going to go down into the images directory, cd images, and then I'll dir there. And so you can see that in there I have a series of JPEG files, and because I already tested this code, I also have a file called file list text. Let me remove that file. I think that's delete, del, and then file, and again I'll use the tab to complete that. And now let's go, we'll use our up arrow to come back to our directory command. So that's gone now. So I'm going to recreate that. Now when I created that before, it was here in images directory, and really I want it to be in the directory above. So basically the way that I create the file list is, you can see that when I type dir, it gives me this output. And I'm going to use a different version of that that just gives me the file names, and that's what I want to create these image links. So dir and then /b. And so let's try that. So now you can see it's just giving me the images names. Okay, now think about what's happening here. If one of my users or myself had just used my video camera or my device to take a bunch of pictures and uploaded them, I'd be looking at a file. I might have a couple hundred pictures in it, and they'd all be file names. And now I want to create image links to put them on the web. That would be really tedious if I had to type all those file names in. So what I'm going to show you here is that I can capture this information and create the links with the program code that I wrote, and I can save a hell of a lot of time and work. So this is the kind of stuff that this sort of scripting really pays off on, and so it's real smart to know how to do all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to call back that command, and what I want to do now is I want to redirect the output. So instead of going to the screen, it's going to go into a file, and I'm going to be a little smarter this time. Instead of just giving the file name, I'm going to start by saying go up a directory and then file list dot txt, create the folder there. I'm sorry, the file there. So I'll hit enter. It doesn't give me any return. But if you look up here in the background where I have the folder open in Windows, I'm actually in the images directory here in the command window, but it actually just created my file list test where I wanted it. So now I'll move back up to that directory, dir, and now the file list text is there. Okay? So let's go ahead and compile our Java program, Java C. And the name of the program is image. I'll just tap the first couple of letters and then use the completion. Okay, so no errors, so I don't even have to check. It did create the image class. So now I'll say Java space image. And remember that when you run a Java program with the Java command, you use the class file, but you don't include the extension. Okay? Now I already showed you this, so I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. File, and I think I should be able to do the completion. Yep. That happened before when I did that. For some reason, it loses the input. So this less than symbol says read the input from the file instead of the command line. That's called redirection. So instead of me typing this stuff in, it's going to read it from the file. So first, let's just try this, and it should do the output to the screen. And okay. So you can see that, oops, I got an exception there. No line found. That's interesting. I'm not sure. So that's, let's take a quick look at our image file and see what's going on there. Oh, you know what? I forgot something. I have to put the -1 in here to tell it that I'm done. Because normally I'd be typing that, right? So we'll go ahead and add that. And then I'll go on back here. And I'm just going to rerun my program. Let me clear the screen here to make it, there we go. So CLS clears the screen. And then I'll use the up arrow to bring my command back and run it again. And now I don't get the error. So I forgot to put the -1 in the end of the file. Okay. So let's now do something extra. So I'm going to run the command again, but now I'm going to redirect the output into my image link dot text. Okay, and so that doesn't do anything. I mean, it just returns because instead of writing the output to the screen, it wrote it to the file. Now, if we look here, there's the new file that I just created, and let's open that in Windows. And so that's pretty good. There's all my image links. The problem, though, is I've got this extra prompt. Okay? So, you know, if you think about it, I know that it works. I don't really have to have the prompt in there. And so something I can do real quickly is I can just modify the program, and I'm going to actually open this with Notepad. And so right here, there's the enter the file name prompt. And so I'm just going to comment that out, save the file. Notice that I edited the file in Notepad. That's a basic text editor. And then I'm going to go back into my window, and I'll pull up my compiler command again. So Java C, so I'm recompiling. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and run my redirect to redirect my output. So image link.text. And now if we look at the, and by the way, when you do this, it overwrites the file. You can actually append to a file by using, using a double greater than sign instead of a single one. Okay, so image link text should now have well-formatted HTML, and sure enough, there it is. So this I can copy right into an HTML page, and it'll actually work, and those links will be fine. So let me just real quickly show you that, because I'm sort of proud of myself here for what I did. And those files turned out to be the default files from my Windows Pictures thing here. Because they're in images, I'm just going to go there. And really quickly, I'm going to, let's see here, new. I was hoping I'd hit Dreamweaver here. I'm going to have to open Dreamweaver instead. Okay, so don't worry too much about this. It's not part of the course. I just want to show you how you can use that data that I just created real quickly. And let me check and make sure I'm still recording here. Yep, we're doing good. Okay. So we're going to open Dreamweaver, and then I'm going to just create a new HTML5 document. And then I'm going to come down here into the body of the document and paste the markup code that I had copied from my output file. And then I'm going to save the document, and I want to save it in that same directory because otherwise the links to the image files will be broken, right? So I'm just going to come down here to C, and there's my Java command 2, and there's my images folder where the images are, and I'll save this. And then if I can actually look at this right within the tool, so if I go to design view, and what's going on? Not working here. Let's see, file, save. Well, let me just try to launch this. Oh, Untitled. Why did it do that? Okay, I didn't catch that. I should have changed the title. That doesn't matter though. It should actually work. So let's go ahead and see preview in Firefox. Yeah, so I got the image links broken, it looks like here, which kind of ruins the effect of my demo, right? So let's see if we can figure out real quickly what's going on here. Whoops. So let's close Firefox. So the images are right there. Untitled 1 HTML is my file. Let's go back to the code view. I'm kind of wondering if maybe, let's see, href equals. I wonder if those have to be double quotes. Okay, just to test this out real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and try that. And obviously I could easily modify the code to use double quotes. So let's see, replace all, and then Control S to save. And let's go back again and preview in Firefox. Well, god damn it, that just kind of destroyed my oh, I had the markup wrong, so I have to close the A tags. All right. Well, I hate that when I screw up like that. So my program and my Java and my command line stuff all worked. I screwed up the HTML. All right, so let's just go ahead. I'm going to minimize, pause this. I'll fix it, and I'll come back and show you so I don't waste your time here. All right. Wow, talk about a senior moment. I really got my HTML confused. So I fixed my Java code just now. This should have been image source, and now those links should work. So I'm going to go ahead and save this file. Again, I'm in Notepad, editing the Java code in Notepad, just in case I'm going to leave it open. And then I'm going to roll back to my command line. And I'll go ahead and recall my program. But see, now I have to recompile my Java. So where's my Java C? There it is. So that'll recompile the Java. Now I'll call back the command line that I wrote. It saves the file. And now we should have a good list. We'll come on in here and I think I edited. Yeah, you know, I just changed the Java code in the wrong file. So, wow, I am just having a day of it here too, aren't I? All right, so let's go on down here. Where's that Java C folder? Man, talk about senior moments. Okay, it'll overwrite the class. There's the Java file that I'm running in the command window. So let me open that quickly in Notepad. And so open with Notepad. Yeah, see, it didn't get changed. I changed the other file. So I had multiple copies of the file. So image source equals file name. And the single quote should work, okay? So let's just save this and make sure. I'm going to leave it open again. And now again, we'll do the same thing. So I'll have to recompile. Where's that Java C? There it is. And then I'll call my program to write it out to the template link text. And then real quickly, we'll just type this out. So type temp. Oops. Oh, that's in, let's see, where am I at here? Okay, so why didn't that work? Type template. It does want to do the IntelliSense. So, oh, the file's not in that directory. Where the hell is it? Let's see. Oh, image link text. Dope. Man, definitely going to need some bourbon today. Okay, so now these are right. So image source and single quoted. I think it turns out that you don't need to have that XML style singleton ending. So let's go to our directory. And here's the image link text file. So I'll just double click to open that in Notepad. Grab the code, Control C to copy it, over to Dreamweaver, paste it into the body of my document. And this document is in the images directory, so these links should be good. Save the file. And actually, I could go over in Design View, and you can see now that they're working. So I had a senior moment about my HTML markup, which is pretty embarrassing, but now that's working. So again, I just want to review what we did here. This is a real typical example of automating a rather odious task. So again, you go to a concert or a festival or something, you got a couple hundred images, and they're all in a directory in your camera, and you download them. And then you don't want to have to painfully type those file names in. So we can use these DOS techniques to automate quite a bit of that. And I could give further. Later on, we'll show you how to create files and read files with Java. And so we can write a program that automates the entire thing. We'll just point it at a directory, and Java will create the HTML page for us and have the images in it. I also wanted to add something here too. If you're if you know the HTML, you know that I made this really simple. And so let's just real quickly open the Java one more time. And so really what I want to do is I want to be able to style this. And you don't want to ever put the style in line. You want to use an external style sheet. And so the way I can do that is I can just add class equals and single quote the name of my class, and this could be you know, hot image, whatever I'm going to call it in the CSS. And so then that adds a class selector to every one of those images, and then the style rules that I write in my CSS under the name hot image will apply to them. So you can do a lot with this kind of automation, and I just wanted you to be aware of that. Again, I don't know if all of you are going to do HTML development or not. Okay, sorry about the brain fart. That's pretty funny. I got all my Java and command line stuff right and screwed up the HTML syntax. So that's a real basic thing. All right, what do I always say? Code on, dude.